Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And now that every NBA team except for the Houston Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder have played a game, I thought I'd tell you guys about a team that have really impressed me and that I think are going to be really good this season. And that's, as you can tell by the thumbnail, is the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets played on opening night on Tuesday, and they convincingly beat the Warriors by a score of 125 to 99. And I just thought they looked really, really good, so I thought I'd talk about it. And the first thing is obviously their two stars, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. They looked great. For KD, I think we all forgot just how good KD is. He's a 7-footer. His handle is great. He can just get to a spot easily, and he can shoot from almost anywhere. He was looking really good. He had a couple of pull up from three just in your face. He cooked Wiseman for a mid range shot, and he got inside a few times. Just classic KD stuff. And then he only had 22 points, but he didn't play too much. I think he was in the mid 20s in terms of minutes, and he was missing a few shots that maybe he could even make just when he's going baseline, or just driving on defender, and just kind of those bunnies sort of mid-range floater type of shots. I think he missed a few of those, so he can make those shots. So that's pretty scary. The defense wasn't great on him. The Warriors don't have any great defenders with Draymond out and Clay also being out, but still, he looked really good. I would say 95% of what he was before. A few things that I noticed was just when he was going inside, he didn't look as just dunk on you. He was more looking to go for little floaters or maybe just pulling up right before he got inside. But he looked really, really good, and he can definitely lead this team to a championship. And then Kyrie Irving, who also looked great, he had 26 points. Just played really, really well. The first thing was the 3-point shot. It was falling for him. He had one really, really deep one from the logo, but more to the right. And he had a couple more threes. His stroke is really, really nice, and they really couldn't guard him. And then he can also get inside and finish. One of the best finishers inside, and he can also score in the mid range. And that was great. When Durant had the ball, Kyrie can space out to the 3-point shot, and when Durant has the ball, and when Kyrie has the ball, Durant can space the floor, and that's really scary. And they can even run a bit of two-man game too, with maybe a post entry and a kick back out, or just a classic pick and roll and that type of thing. So those two looked really, really good. But there was also a team around them that played really well, and Joe Harris, probably the most solid player. He was looking good. Obviously, we know how good a 3-point shooter he is. He hit a couple threes, and then also the defense. He was playing good defense, and the Nets in general were playing good defense. I think there was maybe one or two plays where they left Curry open for three, and then they left a few other guys open for three, like Wiggins, but I'm not sure if that was part of the game plan or not. But they're sort of on a string, closing out, communicating well, and that was really, really good, and a really good thing to see, because that's sort of the question with the Nets, is on the defensive end. And Dinwiddie played solid, didn't score too much, but I suspect he'll score a bit less just because he's in the starting lineup with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, but a good 3-point shooter and all that. And then they had Karis LeVert coming off the bench, and I really like him coming off the bench. I think he's definitely in the running for Sixth Man of the Year. He was able to be the primary ball handler and the primary option when running with the second unit. He was getting inside, he was hitting a few mid-range shots, and just in general looking really good. I like that he's able to handle the ball, and he's really good at shooting off the dribble, even better than he is at catch and shoot. So I think he can definitely fit in well with the second unit, and that's really promising. So another positive sign for the Nets. And then DeAndre Jordan and Jared Allen, neither of them played great, but they're just solid, and that's what this Nets team needs. I really like with Jared Allen that he always challenges people at the rim, and it does lead to him getting dunked on, but he's constantly trying to be a rim protector, and the Nets need a rim protector, so that's really solid. So just in general, the offense was running really smoothly. They're creating open 3-point shots for guys like Joe Harris and Kyrie. So that's a really positive sign. The worry when you have two guys like KD and Kyrie is that they're so good that you get into the tendency of taking tough shots because they can make those tough shots. But I thought sometimes you gotta let them go to work, but they're also creating open shots for them, and there was good ball movement with the offense. They're passing it around with a purpose, and that looked really good. They had a couple lobs to DeAndre Jordan and Jared Allen, and those are just easy baskets. So that looked good offensively. And then defensively, as I said, they looked good just being on a string and running around, just closing out to shooters and all that. And then this team has a lot of depth too. Since a lot of players missed out on the bubble, their bench guys got a lot of run. Shamet, who they acquired this offseason, didn't play great, but he'll be a promising piece for them. And then Taurean Prince, Jeff Green, Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot, they just have a ton of quality players on their roster. So that's good, because if KD or Kyrie gets injured, well, they might be in a bit of trouble if KD gets injured, but if Kyrie gets injured, they have Dinwiddie, they have LeVert, and then they have guys who can slot into the rotation. So if we just look at the Celtics and Bucks played, they both looked solid. I think Jaylen Brown played really well for the Celtics. I liked how he was getting to his mid-range in the Celtics Bucks game, and then Tatum had the three. Giannis missed a free throw to win it, but I think the Nets are probably better than both of those teams when healthy. I mean, it's tough because obviously the Bucks are so consistent and they have Giannis, and the Celtics have Tatum and Brown, and they looked really good. But I just think the Nets, having Kevin Durant, who's really good, Kyrie Irving, and then they have four guys who can create offense, and that's something that not many other teams have, because that is also something you need in the playoffs. You need guys who can make plays, who can put the ball on the floor, who can shoot the three, who can pass, dribble, and the Nets have a lot of those guys. So I think that really looks good for them, and I think I'm going to predict them to come out the East, and then the finals, I'm not sure. I think the Clippers are going to win the NBA championship, just as a big general thing. I might do a video on that. But the Nets, yeah, as I said, just KD, Kyrie, plus all the other offensive weapons they have. If we're looking at a bit of a weakness, it's obviously if KD gets injured, because then there's just the Nets of last season. But you can say that about every team. The Bucks aren't good if Giannis gets injured. The Celtics aren't good if Tatum gets injured. So if he stays healthy, they'll be good. And then just defensively, they did look good against the Warriors, but the Warriors had about one guy who can do stuff on offense, and that's Steph Curry. So, that's still a bit of a wait and see. It was promising, but I'd like to see them go up against a really good offensive team with lots of options. So, and then see how good a defender Kyrie is if he has to guard a really good player, and Dinwiddie and all those guys. But overall, Nets played really well against the Warriors, and I think they're a really good team, especially on offense. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys.